Hello students, welcome back. Till now we have done with the four chapters. Now we are going to start our first lecture of chapter 5, that is laws of motion. So in this chapter we will discuss about the logic behind the motion. So let's start with the understanding of some concept and some important definition in laws of motion. So here first of all let us understand the concept behind of motion. So according to Greek Aristotle, they think that the different surface have different rules of motion. That mean to say that they think that uh, on Earth there are different rules of for motion. On Moon there are different rules of motion, but that was not true. When the Galileo came, then the concept become more clear, and he introduced the things like force and concept of inertia. So Galileo don't have such kind of resources to further write a book on it. Then Newton's come into role. When Galileo died in 1642, Newton born, and Newton was the professor in college, and he wrote a complete book on laws of motion that we are reading till now. So Newton further do research on the thing of force and concept of inertia. So these are the basically the story between the concept of motion. Now he introduced the force and concept of inertia. So basically forces are of two types. One is contact force and another one is non-contact force. Contact force mean that we are pulling an object, and that mean any kind of force in which we are having a contact. That mean I am applying a force on this pen, so that mean I am pulling this pen and applying the force, so that is after the contact. But if we talk about the non-contactable forces, in this gravitational force and magnetic force and electrostatic force comes into play. So gravitational force is basically a non-contact force which exert force without contacting with the surface of the object. So now let's move towards the next thing, that is concept of inertia. So inertia is basically try to maintain their motion. That mean to say that if an object in motion, it will want to remain in motion. So that is basically the concept of inertia. So if an object is in rest, so it will try to uh, be in rest until a force applied on it. Now as I explained that inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction. So here I already explained you about the inertia of rest. That means if I put my pen on my hand, so it will remain here till 2 hour, 10 hour, 12 hour, 10 years, even 100 years. अगर इस पर कोई फोर्स ना लगाई जाए तब तक ये पेन ऐसे ही मेरे हाथ में रहेगा. ठीक है. तो सिमिलरली इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन, दैट मीन अगर ये ऑब्जेक्ट अगर मूव कर रहा है तो ये ऑब्जेक्ट मूव ही करता रहेगा जब तक कि इस पर कोई फोर्स अप्लाई ना हो. सो दैट इज़ द कॉन्सेप्ट बिहाइंड द इनर्शिया. नाउ लेट्स मूव टुवर्ड्स द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट, दैट इज़ one more important point here is in linear motion inertia is equal to mass. That mean let understand with the help of an image. Here we are having two image, one is of bike and one is of bus. So the force required to pull a bike and to pull a bus So the force required to pull the bus is quite higher than pull a bike, because the mass of the bus is quite uh, higher as comparison to the bike. So that is basically an important point. In linear motion, inertia is equal to mass. Now let's move towards the next important uh, things. We are discussing these words because these things will be discussed later in the chapter, and I don't want that you will get confused with these words. So we are clearing it on the starting of the chapter, laws of motion. So here we are having another term, that is system of particles. So system of particle, basically the definition is, it is a group of particles having same velocity and fixed distance between them. That mean, let's suppose this is the object, and here it is having the numbers of particles in it. If I move this pen, so that means the whole pen is moving, and the whole pen particles is having the same velocity, and the distance between them is fixed. कहने का मतलब है कि अगर ये जो मेरा पेन है, इसके अंदर नंबर ऑफ़ पार्टिकल्स है, ठीक है। अब अगर इस पेन को मैं मूव करता हूँ, तो मूव करने के बाद में इसके अंदर के जो पार्टिकल्स है उन सब की वेलोसिटी सेम रहेगी, और उनके बीच का डिस्टेंस भी फिक्स रहेगा। ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर मैं इस पेन को मूव करता हूँ तो इसके अंदर के आधे पार्टिकल्स की वेलोसिटी डिफरेंट है और कुछ पार्टिकल्स की वेलोसिटी डिफरेंट है। होल particles velocity will remain the same, and the distance between them will also be fixed. So that is basically system of particles. Now system of particles, I hope I am clear with the term system of particles. uh, Let me understand with one more thing. Let's suppose this is an object and it is having number of particles in it. I am not talking about a single particle, I am talking about this system of particle. Now this object is consisting number of particles, and if I try to move this object, then every particle will have the same velocity and the distance between them will remain fixed. द डिस्टेंस जो इनका पहले इनके बीच में जो डिस्टेंस था वही डिस्टेंस सेम रहेगा अगर ये मोशन के अंदर भी अगर ये आते हैं तो. Now I hope I am clear with the system of particles. Now let's move towards the next point, in which first is the internal force. So internal force cannot create motion and external force can create motion. इसको हम एक एग्ज़ाम्पल की हेल्प से समझते हैं. अब सपोज़ करिए कि आप एक बस के अंदर बैठे हैं. सपोज़ करिए आप बस नहीं, आप एक कार के अंदर बैठे हैं और आप कार के अंदर बैठ के अपनी पीछे वाली सीट से आप अपनी आगे की जो सीट है उसको आप पुल कर रहे हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आपकी कार मूव करने लग जाएगी, क्योंकि आप कार के अंदर बैठे हैं और कार के अंदर आप इंटरनल फोर्स लगा रहे हैं, तो जिसकी वजह से आपका जो मोशन है वो क्रिएट नहीं होगा. बट ऑन द अदर एंड इफ़ यू आर ट्राइंग टू मूव योर कार फ्रॉम द एक्सटर्नल साइड, दैट मीन अगर आप बाहर से अगर अपनी कार को पुश करते हैं तो दैट मीन दिस इज़ द एक्सटर्नल फोर्स एंड दिस कैन क्रिएट द मोशन. So that is basically the some important thing related to internal force and external force. Now next term is mass, that you have learned from your 7th or 6th class. So mass is basically the matter contained in it. I don't want to add more point in it. So now let's move towards the next topic and next term, that is linear momentum. So linear momentum is basically when a mass consists and velocity, then these things will be known as the linear momentum and we will denote it by P. So linear momentum is basically a vector quantity, and we know that vector is having magnitude and direction, so the direction will be same as the velocity of your linear momentum. So the definition of linear momentum is it is defined as the product of the mass of the body and its velocity. Now the need of a study of momentum because it can exert force. Let us understand it. अब सपोज़ करिए ये मेरे पास एक पेन है, ये मेरे हाथ के अंदर है अभी, ठीक है। अब इसके पास में मास है लेकिन अभी वेलोसिटी इसके अंदर नहीं है, तो ये अभी मुझे कुछ हार्म नहीं पहुंचा रहा है, अभी इसके पास में एक तरीके का फोर्स नहीं है, ठीक है। अब लेकिन अगर आपने कभी नोटिस किया होगा कि जब भी आप बाइक पर जाते हो तो कोई भी अगर एक छोटा सा ऑब्जेक्ट अगर आपसे टकराता है, अगर आप समझिए अगर कोई छोटा सा इंसेक्ट्स भी अगर आपको टकराता है तो वो आपको बहुत तेज़ लगेगा, ठीक है। और इसको थोड़ा और अगर हम अंडरस्टैंड करें, अब ये ऑब्जेक्ट है, ये सीधा अभी मेरे हाथ में, लेकिन अगर मैं इसको थ्रो करके आपकी तरफ फेंकता हूँ, ठीक है, तो क्या होगा कि ये ऑब्जेक्ट आपको बहुत तेज़ लगेगा कि और इतना तेज़ भी लग सकता है कि आपकी ब्लीडिंग भी हो सकती है। तो दैट मीन क्या हुआ कि अगर मैं इस ऑब्जेक्ट को वेलोसिटी प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूँ तो ये एक तरीके का फोर्स का काम कर रहा है। तो ये ही नीड है हमें लीनियर मोमेंटम को पढ़ने के लिए। सो बेसिकली द नीड टू स्टडी द लीनियर मोमेंटम इज़ बिकॉज इट कैन exert force. Now how you will calculate the change in momentum? Let's suppose I throw an object on this wall with the speed of 10 plus 10. Let's suppose we are considering this direction is positive and the opposite direction is negative. Then the change in momentum will be 10 plus 10 minus 7. So that means that will come about 17. So you have to do this kind of thing in if you are doing the question of change in momentum. So we will discuss it about a bit later, and we will do some these kind of questions also. Now let's leave this. Now let's move towards the next thing that you are all aware with. So the first law of motion, a body at rest or motion will continue its state of motion unless an external force is applied on it. You all are aware about the first law of motion, and first law of motion gives definition of force. So basically it is giving the definition of force. दैट मीन अगर ये ऑब्जेक्ट अगर मेरा रेस्ट में है तो ये रेस्ट में रहेगा, अगर ये मोशन के अंदर है तो ये मोशन के अंदर रहेगा, जब तक कि इसके अंदर कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स मैं अप्लाई ना करूँ। अब ये रेस्ट के अंदर है, अब ये इसको मोशन में लाने के लिए मेरे को इस पर कुछ फोर्स लगाना पड़ेगा, जिसकी वजह से ये कुछ मोशन के अंदर आएगा। या ये मोशन के अंदर है, अगर इसको स्टॉप करने के लिए मेरे को क्या करना पड़ेगा, कोई फोर्स लगाना पड़ेगा, जिसकी वजह से ये स्टॉप होगा। सो बेसिकली यहाँ पर हम फोर्स को इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं। तो बेसिकली फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन गिव्स डेफिनेशन ऑफ फोर्स. Now second law of motion is rate of change in momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. Now let's see this. A force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. That means we are differentiating momentum with respect to time. So after that I remove the directly proportional sign by k. So after doing the differentiation, I am keeping out m and doing the differentiation dv by dt, and we know the rate of change of velocity is basically acceleration. Now we are having term f is equal to kma, but we need mass into acceleration. So how we will remove k? So when we put the values force 1 and mass 1 and acceleration 1, we will automatically get the value of k is equal to 1, which will become easier for us to removing directly proportional symbol that we used here, that means k. So after removing that, we got the value of f, that is equal to ma. So basically second law we calculate force, here we are calculated force. Now the third law of motion, you are all aware about it. For every action has equivalent opposite reaction acting on different bodies. So third law of motion you are all aware. Now next important thing is laws of conservation of momentum of a system. So that is the important one. So we have to understand this with a little brief. So we know the for momentum, that is the formula is mass into velocity, and we denote momentum by p. Now laws of conservation of momentum we will understand with the help of this picture. Let's suppose we are having two buses which is having the initial momentum, that is m1 u1, and second momentum, that is m2 u2. Now let's suppose this is the whole system. We are considering these two buses as a system. Now after when they clash, when they are clash with each other, their velocity will change, because we know the mass can never be changed. So the mass will remain same and their velocity is changed. Before velocity was u1, now velocity is v1, and for here it is same, mass remains same and u2 will change into v2. But according to the laws of conservation of a momentum of a system, it says that m1 plus m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. That means we are considering it a whole system. वी आर कंसिडरिंग इट अ होल सिस्टम. दैट मीन मेरे कहने का मतलब यहाँ पर ये है कि दोनों बसेस ये जो है हम इसको पूरे को एक सिस्टम कंसीडर कर रहे हैं. अगर मैं यहाँ पर एक सिंगल बस को लेता हूँ तो ये एज ए सिस्टम मैं इसको कंसीडर नहीं कर सकता. तब मैं इसको m1 u1 मेरा m1 v1 के इक्वल नहीं आएगा. अब मैं इसको पूरा सिस्टम कंसीडर कर रहा हूँ, तब ही ये मेरा m1 u1 प्लस m2 u2 ये मेरा इक्वल आएगा m1 v1 प्लस m2 u2 के, क्योंकि यहाँ पर इंटरनल फोर्स अप्लाइड हो रहा है. ठीक है, और हमने पीछे ही पढ़ा था यहाँ पर कि इंटरनल फोर्स कैन नॉट क्रिएट मोशन. तो इंटरनल फोर्स मोशन क्रिएट नहीं कर सकता. एंड हेयर वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द लॉज ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम ऑफ अ सिस्टम. So with this I hope I am clear with you, and this is the initial momentum of a system. This was the initial momentum of a system, and this is the final momentum of a system after collision. So after collision we get m1 v1 plus m2 v2. I hope I am clear up to that much point, and we will do some next topic in our next video. Thank you.